Hey y'all, it's your girl Danny. Welcome back to my corner with God. I pray you guys are blessed. I have a prophetic message. God gave me this message over a week ago, so I pray that this locates who it is intended for. Make sure you do check the fruit on this. I'm gonna get straight to it, you guys, because it is actually late, and I have work in the morning. I get up at 3:30 a.m., so it's late. It's 11 something right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and push through and try to get this out. So please don't fault me, but I'm definitely just want to try to get straight to it. Okay. So listen, God put me to chapter 50 in Genesis, verse 20, where it says, "But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive." And so what was talking to me about is this person. So this message again is not for everybody. So again, let me just say that. I strongly feel like this is for someone who is separated from a relationship, separated from someone that you were in love with, close with, however you want to say it. But this is someone that you're no longer in contact with. Okay. So God is saying, like, He's speaking about the things that have been done to you, the things that happened to you. It was intentional. But those things that that person done to you, it has shifted you, it has changed you, it has made you stronger. It's almost like, iron sharpens iron, like, so yeah, it hurt you, it broke you. It definitely, out of all of that breaking though, is what I'm trying to get to. It's just like it brought you closer to God. It made your relationship stronger with God. You are now, your prayer life has increased. You are changing and shifting in your mindsets. You're changing and shifting in how you pour love into yourself and how you receive love. You are changing and shifting in the boundaries that you have placed in your life, and you've been pretty much standing on business. This person that God is talking about that betrayed you, that backstabbed you, that did something hurtful to you, that broke you, those, and again, it was intentional because they knew what they were doing when they did it. When they chose someone else, when they cheated on you, um, they knew what they were doing. They knew that they would hurt you, but they did it anyway. What's happening now at this time is God is it's just like karma. When karma arrives to your doorstep, karma has everybody addressed. You hear me? What you put out, you get back in return. Like what you reap is what you sow. And so what they are experiencing now is the reaping of what they've sown. And so God is saying, like, they're going to spin the block again. They're coming back around. It's coming back around again. And God is going to give you the choice to choose what you want. Of course, but what he is saying in this is, don't be like Lot's wife and turn into a pillar of salt. Do not look behind you. There's nothing behind you. Everything that is worth having, everything that is worth pursuing, anything that is worth having is ahead of you, not behind you. So God is basically speaking to you about the things that have happened to you has brought you to who you are today. You are an entirely different person. You are not the same person. You are able to see that situation with a different lens. Like the rose-colored glasses have definitely been removed. And so there's no confusion. You have the clarity that you need. You have the strength that you need. The person that you are now, you have all that you need to be able to make the best decision for you. Although I understand temptation comes along, because to be completely honest, you can still have love for someone in your heart. But God says, do not confuse love with attachment. Something that you feel like someone who you feel like you're in love with, or you were, and you still have this love in your heart, when it's really at this point just an attachment. Like, it's the only reason why it's tempting is because it's the things that they used to do, the things that you used to feel. Like, do not be like Israel trying to go back to Egypt. Okay? You want what you think was good at that time, but was never good for you. What God has for you is so much more, and he's going to restore that. He's already started restoring it when it comes to what he's doing on the inside of you. Okay? On the inside of you. That shift has already been happening. And for a lot of you, you're not even thinking about this person. And you may have recently started feeling like, you could feel their energy a lot more. You may be hearing songs that used to remind you of them. I feel like you're hearing music or songs that that remind you of, that, how music can carry like memories with it. And I feel like you may have been coming across a lot of music like that lately, where out of nowhere, maybe in a grocery store, maybe just, or in a car, or you're somewhere and all of a sudden these songs are just playing. That's just only because they're missing you. That's not your energy, just to let you know. That's not your energy, that's their energy. What they're feeling now is remorseful. What they feel now is regret for the decisions that they made, because a lot of them made that decision to backstab you, to betray you, because they thought the grass was going to be greener on the other side. And what they found out is that it's not. The truth of the matter is that you are one of a kind. You are special. You are unique. There's no one else in the world like you. And with that being said, there's no one else that loved them the way that you love them authentically. You love them with your entire heart. And so when you removed yourself and you no longer became an option any longer, that void they thought that was going to be filled by the other person is not being filled. They're not getting what they used to get from you, from that new person. And so when things don't go right, when things aren't working out right, when they come to find out, oh, made me just think of, thank you, Holy Spirit. I forget what that movie is called, but with Jill Scott in it, and is it Why Did I Get Married? I think it's Why Did I Get Married, the first one, and they go to anyway, when Jill Scott was talking about the 80-20 rule, and they left their 80 for a 20, and they realize now that's not fulfilling. And so yes, they now are regretful, and they miss you, and they want to come back, they want to speak. So a lot of them are going to spin the block, whoever this message is for. And so God also was bringing me to, let me see, he was talking about deliverance, and basically like I'm getting the last will be first and the first shall be last. So like basically talking about the tables have turned. And so like with the story of Joseph, God was talking about like how he said he had a dream, but then what happened when he exposed his dreams to his family members? They got envious, they got jealous, they wanted to, they plotted, planned, and schemed. They ended up selling him into slavery. But all those things, just the way God had just said to you, when it comes to, they meant it for evil, but God meant it for your good. The table has turned. And so those things that they did to backstab you, to betray you, just like in the story of Joseph, he was able to, those plans that God had for him end up playing out. That dream that he had about being over all of them and, being able to provide for his family and all those things, it actually came to pass, because when they experienced famine, Joseph was then in a position with Pharaoh to be over the entire house, where it says here, so in Genesis chapter 45, verse, let's see, I think it was 7 and 8. 7 and 8, it says, and God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you who sent me here, but God, and he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all of his house, and the ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. And so it's talking about him being able to provide for the household, him being able to, save his family from famine. Like he is now, they plotted, planned, and schemed against him, but he still was placed in a position to where he was prosperous, where he was still like they didn't stop nothing. Like all of that they did to Joseph, it didn't stop nothing. All it did was make him stronger. All it did was put him in alignment to what God has already had for him. Because it says here what God had sent for him. He said, God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth, and to save our lives as a great deliverance. Like God has delivered you out of the hand of your enemies, and he has placed you in a position to where you are now experiencing the overflow. And the overflow, some of you may not be seeing it actually in finances as of yet, or material things, but the most important thing is that the closeness that you built, the relationship that you built with God, the breaking that happened in you end up delivering you, end up saving you, because it brought you closer to God. You are now trusting yourself. You are gaining back your confidence. You are loving yourself again. You are doing all the things that they took away from you, that they meant to hurt you, like all the things that they did to hurt you, and they meant it for evil. God is turning around, and it's working out for your good. And so when he's talking about delivering you, that's the deliverance. That's the That's the thing that mattered the most, is the inside of you, your spirit, your soul, your mind, your heart. All these things is what God was placing in position. And for what he has for you, God is going to restore. Everything that was taken from you, God is going to restore. And that tables have definitely turned at this time. And God was also bringing me to where he said in Romans, he brought me to Romans chapter 8, verse 18, where it says here, it says, "For I consider that the sufferings of the present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." God is talking about the suffering that you endured. When they spin that block, don't you forget the suffering that you endured. Don't forget the nights that you had to drop to your knees because your heart was broken and you was on the floor snot nose crying and you was begging God to take the pain away from you. Don't forget the embarrassment. Don't forget the breaking of your heart when they chose someone else and they did it on purpose and they did it over and over and over again when they played in your face. Don't forget when they spin that block, because they are coming back. Karma knows it. Karma knows their address to anybody who is doing wrong to God's children. God don't play about you. So when you think of the suffering that they've done to you, don't forget. Do not forget. Don't mistake in love for attachment. Don't mistake in love for attachment. Okay? Don't do that, because I understand, like, yes, you moved on. No, you're not really too much thinking about them, but sometimes you never know what the heart will do, because the heart is deceitful. Who can know it, right? Other than God. And so in our mind, we thinking we're healed and we moved on and we're not thinking about them. But deep down inside, you may have those feelings of, what if they did come back? Would you betray yourself again? Would you go ahead and get into that again? Would you fall into temptation? I'm telling you now, don't be like Lot wife and turn around and turn into a pillar of salt, because there is nothing behind you. Anything that's worth having, pursuing, anything that's worth anything at this time for you is ahead of you, not behind you. You have come way too far. Way too far. And so again, so it says, "For I consider that the sufferings of the present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." All of that suffering, the glory that is happening now, is happening with inside of you. And that's not even just it. Because God is a God that does exceedingly above we can ever dream, think, or imagine, right? He's not a God that does anything small. He always does it big. So yeah, they're feeling some kind of way. Yes, they feel the loss of, or the absence of your presence. That's because you removed yourself, as they should. Because you are one of a kind. Because there's no one else who's going to give them the love that you gave them and pour into them like the way that you did. Or have a sacrificial type of love. A love that just is like, you love them with every ounce of you, and you tried, and you've given them chance after chance. The last time was the last time, and let it be the last time. Although God does give us free will, that's why he's going to give you a choice to choose. I'm here to remind you to continue to keep going. As this message just keeps on coming out, for me to just go ahead and give, don't turn into the pillar of salt. Don't turn into the pillar of salt. Okay? Don't touch the unclean thing. God was talking about the unclean thing, the things. Let me go to it, because let me get to it. Hold on. He's talking about don't touch the unclean thing. The unclean thing will be them, because anything that God has commanded you to do, he has commanded you to move forward. He gave a commandment. He told you don't look back. He told you don't look back. Keep going. Keep going. And so he was talking about the law concerning leprosy. And all this is just speaking of, when a priest examines to see if a person is unclean or clean. All right. But what he specifically is talking about in this situation is, you making sure that you don't become unclean by touching the thing that you're not supposed to touch, by giving into the temptation, by falling back into old agreements, old mindsets, all the things that God has already delivered you from. Okay? All the things that God has already delivered you from. And what God is saying here is he also brought me to Genesis, and this was page 11, I believe. Let me get to it. I'm going to do some flipping. We have scripture to get into, So he says here, this is when Abram went back to, in Genesis, this is when Abram went to go and rescue Lot and all of them when he went and fought the other kings and stuff. So if you haven't read this chapter, I believe it's chapter 14. But here in verse 16, it says, so he brought back all the goods and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods as well as the woman and children. God is saying, you continue to walk the path with him, continue to believe in him, continue to trust in God and where he's taking you to. Basically, is saying those things will be restored. So you may feel like you lost people. You had to let go of people. You had to let go of this person that you don't want to let go of. Like you love them and you want to be with them, but you know that you can't. You can't be with them. Like, you won't. It's like, why would you go back to something that destroyed you? Why would you go? Because that person hasn't changed. God was telling me that person's heart has not changed. Everything about them is still the same. Even if they come and they start love bombing you and trying to breadcrumb you and give you all the things that they know how to do because they know you. Well, they knew you. They don't know the new you. But, all the things that they think to do to get you to come back, to take them back, to spin the block with them again, don't trust it because that they haven't changed. And what God is getting ready to do for you, like he said here, he's going to bring back all the goods and all the things in people. When he's talking about people, he's talking about new people. God is going to restore you with better, not with less, but with better. And so when we're talking about bringing new people in, this is going to be people that are in alignment to your new season, to where you're going, to what God has for you. When we're talking about goods, we're going to talk about the confidence that you've gotten back, the resilience that you've gotten back, the glow that you've gotten back, the shifting that had to happen in the inside of you. Those things that God has already given you. A lot of you don't even could care less. It's like, you think the energy that you may be feeling from time to time is you. That's not you. That's a lot of you are empathic. I'm sorry, I just have to say that. And so you're mistaking like what you're feeling as if it's you, as if it's you, and it's not you, it's them. You can feel their energy because there's still a connection. Absolutely. Yes. But that doesn't mean to fall back into it. That doesn't mean to turn around and go back to that. God is telling you, do not turn into a pillar of salt here. Brought me to, it was page 15. This is where I was talking to you about Lot, where it says here, this is when Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. But it says here in verse 25, but his wife looked back behind him and she became a pillar of salt. Okay, a pillar of salt. She shouldn't have looked backwards. There was nothing behind her. God was destroying everything behind her, everything behind them. That land was to be destroyed, as it is for you. Everything that was behind you is destroyed. Everything in front of you is what you have to look forward to, is what God has for you. Is what God has for you. And so he also brought me to here, 67. Let me get here. And this is where God is talking about restoring double. For he says here in verse 4, if a thief is certainly found alive in his hand, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he shall restore double. And so everything that this person has stolen from you, there will be a restoration. There will be a restoration. God is getting ready to overflow your life with so much more beautiful things. Not just material things, but the things that even the people that he's going to bring into your life. Some of you are about to come into your season when you're getting ready to meet your actual husband or your actual wife. Your God-given husband and your God-given wife. Some of you are coming into alignment with that if you stay the course. Some of you are just going to meet really good people that are meant to be in the season that you're in. The relationships that are coming your way is going to be, these are going to be people who are sent to you, okay, from God. So don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the gaslighting. Don't fall for the breadcrumbing. Don't fall for any of the things that they will do to get you, to lure you back in. I'm telling you now, they're going to spin the block. But God said all of your suffering was not for nothing. The glory will overflow in your cup. Your cup will overflow. What God has for you is everything new. This is a season of new for you. You've come way too far to turn around. Again, do not turn into the pillar of salt. Okay, do not be Lot's wife. And so that's all that I have for you guys at this time. But yeah, God was talking about they are gonna spin the block again. It's gonna come back around again. But you have everything that you need. God is giving you what you need at this time to be able to stand strong and to move forward and to trust him. But it is your choice. So move accordingly. You guys be blessed. And until next time, I'm your girl, Danny. Bye.